for Queen City Confessions.
Which, by the way, you can always get your confession in by texting hits and the confession all together to the number 96893.
Here's the first one. My sister is 2 years out of her divorce, and I am real close to cutting her off. At least once a week, she'll come over and just get blasted on wine and start crying. This past weekend, she was crying into my husband's lap and started rubbing his leg and tried to go in for a kiss. I happened to walk in and I stopped it. I got her an Uber home. She then called me on Sunday to say that she was drunk and just sad over her ex-husband. I'm about to tell her to either get over it or not come around anymore. Like, sometimes people obviously go through, it takes a long time to get through divorce, understandable.
Correct.
But you can't cross the line like that and just blame it on being sad.
No. And, you are more than, it's well within your rights to put up your boundaries like that. And then maybe she'll realize, like, maybe she needs a little tough love. Sometimes people, you never know what's going to work for people. A little tough love might not be the worst thing. And then be like, who would really help is the therapist maybe with this. And then maybe you could plan together to get her some mental help with it.
Have you ever had a friend cross a line like that with the person you were dating or your husband, and they blamed it on being sad or going through a breakup? What happened and how did you work through that? Text hits in your message to 96893. Here's another confession. I know this sounds stupid for a confession, so if you don't read it, I understand. My husband will always tell everyone that he's the funny one in our relationship. He laughs at his own jokes. Meanwhile, at work and with my friends, I'm the funny one. He's even drunkenly said that women aren't funny.
Oh, no. What kind of a man is this?
It really makes me sad sometimes that he doesn't even acknowledge that this is a part of my personality.
Yeah,
I'm curious if you knew that up front. And like how you dealt with it then, or maybe this is something that happened since you got married, but that has to be a conversation.
I was going to say you have got to talk about it because, I mean, even just like starting with the base of like, okay, so you said women aren't funny. Can we dig into that? Because that's ridiculous. I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous. That sounds like a very not one of the best types of men. You know what I'm talking about? Like the kind where they don't see women as equal.
Toxic.
And it's a little, it actually is deep. So start there.
Here's another confession. My boss and I got into a screaming match after work. We've never done that before. But we both got so hot and bothered that we ended up doing it on his desk. It will never happen again, but I don't know how to tell my husband.
What?
Girl.
Wait a minute.
Girl.
There's so much going on here.
What are you doing? And how do you get so hot and bothered that you, like, I thought that was a TV thing that, like when people get into arguments and they're like, how dare you? How dare you? I've
never have you ever done that?
No.
Like, have you ever been so angry that it turned into passion? Because I have never, like, when I'm legit angry, there's no flipping the script and turning it into sexual tension. Like, I want to be mad.
Those are very separate emotions in my body. You cannot meld angry and sexy time together for
me.
I
guess it comes down to a root of like passion, but that means you're passionate about your boss, right? Like, or clearly I don't understand it. That's not in my expertise, in my wheelhouse, but like, if you are planning on telling your husband, you better plan on maybe quitting that job too or something, because that's not going to go over well.
Have you ever, are you one of those people, because like we said, watching movies and TV shows, I just don't understand it. Like, that doesn't compute to me, where you can take anger and that turns into passion into, adult time.
Yeah.
If you're one of those people, we want to talk to you. Text hits in your message to 96893. All right, it is 7:32. Have you ever been hanging out with like a new person? All of a sudden, their ex comes around. How did you handle that situation? Like, did you shut it down? Was it okay? Because that is what happened with Ben and Natasha on their date. His ex came around. Natasha was like, hold up.
Right.
But why was the ex coming around?
That's the question.
We got to catch up with